ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz. On this week's episode, we'll be talking about the movie Him. But of course, before we get to any of that, I am joined today by P.E.D. Nathaniel Ginger.
I'm on all of that juice.
The juice. Have we talked about before how, like, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have, like, a PED Olympics?
Yeah, they're trying it. Yeah. They got a guy.
Are they trying that?
Yeah, well, I mean, a couple of years ago, the last time there was an Olympic cycle, there was like a guy, a billionaire, one of those ones that was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get one of these going.
okay.
It's gonna be like the Universe Games or something like that. And I think there's definitely things where like it would definitely be, crazy, like functional strength tests and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. How much you want to bet they call it the X Olympics?
No, surely not.
That effect.
I don't. They get sued for something like that. I think you'd be. I don't know.
Well, there's gonna be like
I
some
think like
X in it
Universe
at some point.
Games, or like I don't know, something crazy.
All right.
What
You guys are acting like Mr. Beast wouldn't just fund this himself
That's
for a human
valid,
experience.
and he would.
I mean, we're at the era of the UFC at the White House, boys. I'm ready for full on gladiator shit at this point. Like, let's pull the curtain back and just do what we're really threatening to at this point. Gladiator games right next to the steroid Olympics. One right after each other every 3
X
years.
Olympics.
Yep. The
TM.
Extreme Olympics.
That's what the X stands for, dude.
But is it going to be X comma? Because otherwise it looks like Zimblympics, like xylophone.
I think maybe X hyphen.
X dash.
Oh, you know
Olympics?
what? It's
or is it Olympics?
But
yes,
with the X at the end. It's the X at the end. Yes. Oh, okay. Now we got it. I'm glad we got there because that's perfect. We have to trademark that.
Yeah, someone get on that quick.
Cool.
We recorded this. We sent it off to ourselves. No one else take that.
It's sealed. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's awesome.
That's funny.
Also joining us today, the first competitor in the Olymp X. It's big baller BlakeHolder.
Hey, what up?
Can help but think of you during this movie, man, because I'm like watching all this training happening, and I'm like,
oh
man, Blake lived this movie, you know?
Yeah. It's
It was you and
I caught it obviously over the weekend.
Yeah,
I've got some thoughts. For sure.
Yeah. It's just weird to me because I'm so far removed from playing the game of football. Because like I played like 1 year of flag football in the 3rd grade, and that's the only thing I ever touched with it, other than watching it and playing.
4th grade for me, so
Yeah. But like, we don't talk often enough about Blake playing Division I football as a wide receiver. I just, it's not that we have to talk about it every episode, but I don't think it gets brought up enough.
If I'm not mistaken, there was a captain in there as well too. Was there not?
Oh, yeah.
There was a C on the uniform.
That's awesome.
So I had a okay career, right? And in youth in high school was luckily enough to continue to play at the college level. So yeah, I think all that stuff plays a role in terms of my feelings about this movie, which we'll deep dive once we get into it. But yeah, I don't want to give anything away right now. But yeah, ultimately, I am here. I'm ready to record, and looking forward to chatting with the fellas.
Absolutely. This is going to be a Bit of Sizzle episode here, ladies and gentlemen. As you have probably already guessed or noticed, Tyler Vidalis, our usual other 4th co-host, he's not around. He's in New York.
Fine.
I forgot what reason he gave. Yes, he is fine. Other than the snake bite,
we didn't take rid. we didn't get rid of him.
But besides that,
it is.
Not yet. Not yet, at least.
It is his
happening.
His cousin's wedding.
Okay. But he's gone for like 8 days, if I remember.
It's a big family wedding, and I believe they were doing a little. I mean, it's his birthday as well too, the 27th. So
right. Yeah. Anyway, he will not be joining us, and I don't think he plans on catching this movie or reviewing it. So this is going to be not one that goes up on our entropy list, but we'll still talk about where we either would put it or where we tier it, kind of at the end of our review here. But speaking of that review, Nathaniel, if the listener here is new or maybe they've just forgotten, can you give them a rundown of how our review segment works?
I certainly can. So the way the review segment works here on Back Row Banter is it is split into 2 sections. Oh, this is if you're new or if you've forgotten. Otherwise, you
Right.
know,
Right.
don't worry about it. But in the 2 sections, non-spoilers and spoilers, pretty self-explanatory. In the non-spoiler section, we'll go over who wrote it, who directed it, who's in it, all the stuff on the IMDb page. Then we'll go around the triumvirate tonight, and we will decide if we recommend this movie. Got to be a yes or no. There is no nuance on the internet. There really isn't, folks. And then it'll be spoiler time. Don't want to have anything spoiled for you. Go ahead and you can skip forward, see where we stop talking about it, or you can check our show notes where it'll be written down for you in the show notes section. And in spoilers, we'll talk about any big spoilers, any big plot twists, our deeper thoughts on the movie itself. But then we're going to rank all of it on our entropy list, but not actually, because this is a bit of sizzle. So we'll probably just tell you where we would put it on our tier list if we were to do that. But yeah, with all that being said, tell me about him.
Yeah, I'd love to. This is a new movie, rated R, with a runtime of 1 hour and 36 minutes and an IMDb rating of 5.5 out of 10. Directed by not Jordan Peele.
No.
Let's get that out of the way. It's not
Produced
Jordan Peele,
by Jordan Peele.
Produced by Mr. Jordan Peele, but I think when this trailer first came out, there was a lot of people thinking this was the next Jordan Peele film.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many people ever got off that train, so I just want to clarify
I think
that.
there was people in the cinema that I saw it with that
Absolutely.
thought it was Jordan Peele.
Absolutely.
There are definitely people that sat in their seats thinking this was a Jordan Peele film, and there's probably some people that still think it is a Jordan Peele
that's also
directed film that never found out or never saw the directed by type thing at the end or just didn't register to them. So anyway, produced by Mr. Jordan Peele, but it is directed by Mr. Justin Tipping and written by Zach Akers, Skip Bronke, and Mr. Justin Tipping. The cast includes
None of those are
Marlon
real
Wayans.
people. Those aren't real names.
Um,
Skip Bronke? Are you telling me that's someone's
you know what? You've never
given
heard of
name?
Skip Bronke, famous writer of Limetown,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
the TV series?
That's
podcast series that was
that's-
turned into a TV series.
That's me when I'm running through my anatomy class, skipping, and then someone asks me my name,
yeah.
and I'm skipping, and then I see a model of the lungs, and I think, oh, there's the bronchi, and yeah, that's how I create that name. I'm
That's
saying it's a
awesome.
pseudonym.
Maybe. Anyway,
It's an anatomy.
the cast
joke.
includes Marlon Wayans, Tyreek Withers, Julia Fox, Tim Heidecker, and Jim Jeffries, of all people, is in this movie, which was such a surprise. We'll talk about that more. But that's
also,
like our main cast.
Maurice Green, shout out the crochet boss, former MMA fighter, former
Sure, Maurice
UFC
Green.
heavyweight. One
Not
of those
in it
ones
a ton, but he is.
where I was
he is
just
here.
watching it and was just like, holy crap, that's that guy. I was the Leo meme.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sure. The IMDb summary reads as follows: a young athlete descends into a world of terror when he's invited to train with a legendary champion whose charisma curdles into something darker.
Ooh, excellent use of the word curdles.
Yeah, dude, I read that before the podcast started, and I was like, I like this IMDb summary already. Charisma curdles into something darker. That's great. That's a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Good IMDb summary. Fun wordplay
Yeah.
there. So cheers to whoever wrote that. Tells you what you need to know. Doesn't tell you too much. Kind of gets you where you got to go. And let's get into our thoughts on the movie, because I'm not very high on this one. I don't know about you guys. 5.5 on IMDb, so general public is also not receiving this super highly. Yeah, I just didn't I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this.
Yeah.
It wasn't this. And I don't know if it's the marketing that threw me off or just kind of what I expected this kind of movie to be about or
I
where it
do
takes
think
place and everything like that.
it was very different than I expected it from the trailers.
Yeah, agreed.
And maybe we'll talk about that a little bit more. I am on the camp of liking this movie. I had a good fucking time here. Like, I think it's silly. I think it takes itself. I think it takes itself way too seriously.
Sure.
But like almost immediately with like the football side of things, where they started talking about like this different, like they can't use the NFL very clearly and that kind of thing, and so they use like kind of a different thing. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be some nerdy movie kids try and take on sports and like put horror into that and like pull what they can out of that. I'm intrigued to see where this goes. And then I think it really played into my stuff of, I think they shot the desert really well in this movie. And that's something that I think does not happen very often. And like it like kind of warmed my desert kid heart to see that. And like I just ended up having a pretty good time with it overall. I completely understand why people don't necessarily like it. And I think it'll be really interesting talking with Blake about this as well too. But I don't know. I like, it's a weird big swing and I kind of like it. Like I think it might end up like a cult classic in some ways.
Whoa.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. Adam, do you want to wrap up your kind of thoughts, or are you done sharing your brief?
I want to, I'm not like, I think I ended up giving this like 2.5 on Letterboxd. I'm kind of in that range, high fives, low sixes. Like this movie's okay. It's fine. I wouldn't say this movie's bad. I've definitely seen a lot worse movies. Nowhere near the money laundering tier of our Entropy list. I know Jordan Peele would never launder money. So, I'm not quite there. I just don't think, I think I was just hoping for more out of this. And like, we don't get, I mean, when's the last time we got like a football movie? Like, I don't feel like it's been a while. And like a football horror movie is a fun.
Yeah, is an interesting concept,
yeah, sports,
right?
Yeah, right. It's a weird blend of genre here. So I was just kind of expecting something different or something more. And I think the foundations of this movie, or at least the idea it stems from, are interesting. And that's kind of, on the surface, like I do like some of the concepts that they're playing with and some of the themes they're kind of pointing towards. But in terms of execution and what we end up getting on screen, not in love with it all the way. Certain parts I like more than others. In the movie, to its credit, stays an hour 36, which is a good time for this kind of movie to be. Doesn't drag too much. Doesn't take its time anywhere. It's none of that. It's just some of the places it decides to go, I just didn't enjoy. But there are definitely some good things here. I think the world building is really cool. Especially the way they set it up. And we'll maybe talk a little bit more about that in spoilers. But
I think aesthetically, there's some really interesting stuff going on here too.
Sure.
Like just some really clean shots that we'll talk about more. But
it's filmed pretty well too, I would say. And the acting, I think the acting actually carries this movie quite a bit. Both the leads. What is it? Tyreek Withers and Marlon Wayans, both of them fantastic.
Marlon Wayans, I definitely need to give definitely a big shout out myself. I think he's awesome in this and carries a lot of it.
He is very, very good. Yeah. And Tyreek Withers, to his credit, man, I think he does a great job too. But yeah, it's Marlon Wayans is doing a lot here. So definitely want to tip the hat there. I think the acting is the standout in this movie, and it's shot relatively well, but in terms of the content of the story, didn't love every aspect of that. But Blake, I'm curious to think.
Let's get Blake, and he to also set the scene. I remember you were not very excited to like see this last week. We were like kind of like, okay, we can go see this, and I was, and I'll be upfront, I was intrigued by it. Like I was too. I thought the marketing was like interesting. Like I was interested to see what Jordan Peele signed off on, even from that,
right.
And I think there was stuff here. I wouldn't say I was the most I think I benefit from seeing a lot of horror movies in this. I wasn't like going into this looking to be scared in any way, but I was just intrigued by what was going to happen, kind of thing. But Blake, please. The floor is yours, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately I'm much closer to Adam than I am to Nathaniel on this for sure. I think for starters, though, walking out of the film, the concept is awesome, and I'm happy that we can even live in a world where an idea like this can get put to film.
Sure.
Right? Like, who would have thought that we can make a sports, let alone like football horror movie into a like mass budget film?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So I really appreciate that, and I take the for lack of a better term, because it's all the men cast or men production crew, but like the kind of the balls it takes from the production studio and Jordan Peele to be like, yeah, like fuck it, let's make it. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure this is one that's, even reading the script to the eye, is probably like, oh, like that's probably not going to be the greatest movie, or that's not going to fare well with audiences. So one, definitely kind of commend him for that. Next thing I want to talk about, I mean, is one, like Marlon Wayans. Awesome seeing Marlon Wayans in a serious role. We don't get a lot of those. He's a huge comedian, right, for going back from like basically the 90s till now. So really cool to kind of see him jump out of a lane and show some of his acting chops as well. And that's funny because we just talked about White Chicks. Was that maybe 2 weeks ago or so?
Yeah.
That was last week.
Yeah, so completely different film here. Tyreek Withers, actually enjoyed him here. He's in one of my favorite episodes of Atlanta. Atlanta is obviously one of my favorite TV shows, as you guys know. And he's in a episode that's kind of a one-off character, and it just kind of explores like his background as a very white passing African American.
Sure.
Right. So it's an excellent episode and very funny for sure. And that's kind of what opened my eyes to him. This is probably like 2022. So cool to see him on a big screen and kind of get his first big role. I think he did I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Okay.
But I think this has got to be much bigger than that.
This is the first thing I feel like I've seen him in.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely
for sure.
the first I've seen him in as well.
Yeah, for sure. That being said, the movie. I don't like this movie, and I don't know what I really expected. I kind of stay away from trailers and teasers, so I wasn't really sure. But I guess we're not in a spoiler, so I don't want to say that. But I almost wish they would have like leaned into another part of like the
more the psychological side,
the trauma and psychological side of sports, of like wanting to be the greatest at something.
Sure.
Right. Because I do think that at the highest level, because we've talked about that on this podcast before.
Yeah.
That at its highest level is like, those people are clinically insane.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think there's a line in here that really hit that. And I wish they would have expanded on that type of concept, opposed to the route they took. But yeah, it was really difficult for me to suspend my disbelief on some of the scenes in here. And it's, to your point, the movie doesn't take itself, it does take itself really serious. Maybe that's why it was difficult for me to suspend my disbelief.
I think that's part of it, right? Like it does take itself
for sure.
super seriously.
It leans into that.
And I think
it leans into that.
I think not to jump in where you are, but like for me, who has never played like football at a competitive level or something, like that is something where I was like, okay, like I just see this as just people taking the skeleton of football and like what we know about it, and like again trying to explore that and the horror thing. But like if like you took this and put it in baseball, like I'm sure I would just like not feel the same. Right.
I think you would hate it.
Right.
For sure.
Like exactly. Like I'd just be like, well, you would never do that or something like that, or that doesn't like
and that's what I caught myself doing. Watch this movie. It's like, okay, but like no one would ever do that if they're trying to be good at anything.
Right.
Let alone at football. Right. So yeah, there's some of those things, and it made it really difficult. Shot really well, though. We'll give it credit for that. Shot's awesome. The score is awesome.
Without getting into spoilers, like Tyreek Withers in the bits where he's trying to do football stuff, do you feel like he passes in those moments as a football player? Because I felt like that,
and I do, and I like that. That was probably my favorite thing of the film. Is you can't imagine how many times we see
No.
sports being portrayed in film and TV series, and like it's like, oh my god, this guy's like never even done anything.
Brother,
He's never even touched this sport
brother,
before.
I completely agree, because it happens with the baseball thing all the time. Because I can't tell you how many
Austin
times,
Butler in Caught Stealing, like,
dude. Oh my
like
gosh,
3 weeks ago,
he's never
batting
talked.
cage.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
oh my God,
you're
dude.
just like, oh my gosh, you've never touched a bat,
Yeah,
or like
it's bad.
or
Yeah.
like because like they always love to do it with like the dad's playing catch with the son or something, and I'm just like, brother,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
dude,
so, yeah. This looks horrible.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Thank you.
Waves. So okay, that was part of my curiosity, and I was curious.
Yes.
I just said that twice, but I was interested in what your take was on that side of things. So it's more the other parts of this that rather than like the football moments.
Absolutely, the actual shots of Tyreek Withers playing football and being like in a quarterback esque mode.
Yeah,
I did appreciate, because that to me seems like somebody who's at least been around sports their entire life.
Sure.
Who also happens to act.
He like
right?
did like a
So,
juke
it's
moment.
believable.
He does like a juke moment like outside of an actual thing, and like kind of like wobbles for a second. I was like, oh yeah, I've seen very athletic people do that before, like kind of thing. Like
So that I love that. Can't stress how much I love that, because I think that it would have been really difficult to watch. Obviously, as we don't see Marlon Wayans do anything. Right, football related in the film.
Yeah.
Right, so you can see how they were able to kind of
shoot around
that. Between the two actors. But yeah, the rest I'd kind of have to talk about once we get into spoilers.
Which we can.
Without ruining the plot and whatnot.
So it sounds like 2 not recommends and a recommend.
I'm into it, man. Like
which is fine.
But again, like
their own.
I think it's the thing of like I watch a bunch of horror movies, right? So I'm not coming to this looking for a horror movie. I'm just looking at it. I was like, oh, this is interesting to see, and I love movies.
Sure.
So, I don't know. I think there's something here, though. I think it's kind of wild. I think
it's a wild swing, dude. It's a fun blend genre at the very least.
So Adam, do you flat out not recommend? Like, you may not enjoy it, but like, do you think it's
in the
like
binary
worthwhile
sense,
for someone to come out and give it a shot?
Not in theaters, especially if you're not paying. Don't go pay money for this. But if it pops up on streaming and you're bored and whatever, like it's not. I'm not gonna say you're gonna waste your time watching this movie. But I don't think it's definitely not one you need to go rush and see. And if someone asks me off the street, do I recommend it? I probably know if it has to be binary.
If you've got A-list, I say go see this. I say if you have
A-list, go see anything.
Well, but I think like genuinely though, I like this. I think it's a good theater experience. I like the soundtrack. I saw it in IMAX.
Yeah.
I agree. I thought
I saw it in Dolby.
Yeah, I like the soundtrack.
Well.
I thought the like visually, I think it's a good looking movie. I think it's
shot awesome. The X-ray shots are dope.
Really
also
cool.
Favorite things.
Really cool. Yeah. So like I think there's reasons to see this on a big theater if you like going to see things on a big theater. And not waiting for it. But I'm gonna recommend. These other boys aren't. But I also I understand.
That's coming to common ground here. That would never happen if Tyler was here. He'd instigate. He'd find a way.
Well,
he'd find a way.
I mean, let's be honest. Tyler's not gonna like this movie either. It's gonna be.
He's not either.
It's the classic.
He also played football.
It's the classic spread where the 3 don't, and I'm against, as it happens every time. If all 3, it's very rare all 4 of us are on.
But that's
like fully on.
We need the dissenting opinion here.
It's true.
We still appreciate that. But anyway, let's go ahead and head into spoilers. So if you've not seen him and do not want it spoiled for you, go ahead, check the episode description. We've left a timestamp you can jump to where you'll be taken to the ranking of the movie. Actually, our fake ranking of the movie up upon our tier list.
Our tier list.
Yeah, tier list. Spoiler time. I don't know if you got a noise.
Oh, I got an air horn.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
So shit goes down.
It was very hard for me to suspend my disbelief.
From the trailers, I thought Marlon Wayans was like a demon and like showing up to him like in between. Like, I didn't think he was an
Okay.
actual character. I thought he was like the representation of like the devil on his shoulder or someone trying to like get it. And then to go into the movie and be like, no, he's the GOAT and I'm going to his place to like train and that kind of stuff. It was just so different than what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be like, this guy's coming up through college and then he's like with his friends and like everything. And then he gets the brain injury and this person and this figure starts showing up to him and saying like, how do you want to be great? Like sell your soul kind of thing. And like, you can go from there. Okay. And that's where I thought this was going. So like to have him be a character, like I think I was a little bit thrown off from that already. And maybe that made me a little bit more interested, a little bit more susceptible to it. But, Adam, I know you said you felt a little bit off put by the different from the trailers as well too. So where was that?
And I should clarify that, like, I think I saw the initial trailer when it came out, and then I was like, oh, this is a movie I will probably see, and just didn't watch any of the trailers. Not that I watch trailers, I try to avoid them. So yeah, but from everything I'd seen, it seemed like this was going to be a lot more. I was expecting actual like on-field football. Like I remember in some of the trailers, it seemed like we were in arenas and in stadiums. There was a couple shots of like a jet flyover and stuff like that. Like I thought we were going to at least build to some kind of football sequence where we're on the field playing. And so the fact that 92% of this movie is in a training facility / training compound type thing threw me off quite a bit. And we actually never end up seeing a game of football.
That's so horror film though, right? Like you take your protagonist and put him in the dark, spooky house kind of thing.
Sure. I get it. And I think that's where I wish like maybe some different choices were made. Like you could still blend the two. I don't know. I was expecting, in my head, the plot line was, I'm the GOAT. And I kind of expected some of like I have power or like the whole supernatural side of the GOAT thing, but I thought they were gonna have to like play head to head, or he was gonna have to beat him out in like, practices.
I got you.
Or something like that. Or it's like you have to take the title by beating me type thing. I was not expecting the like I'm gonna train you on or test you and train you and see if you have what it takes to receive this gift of a talent of GOAT lineage or whatever it is that somehow gives you like supernatural abilities, it seems, but they never fully
like enhanced strength and endurance. It seems like
your bones become adamantium and you can break people's skull.
Well, and you got that you get that dog in you, I think is
the dog. Well, it's a goat actually.
You get that goat. Which was apparently
Nathaniel's point though. Yeah, this movie is that meme to a T of right. Like he's got that dog in him.
Yeah,
and it's essentially what it is, and they're passing it down, like a gene line.
Yeah, well, it's where it like, I guess the implication is that like, at the end he has always been groomed for GOAT role, and like that was apparently the original script title was GOAT, which I think it does like, I think it almost plays in better, and again it immediately conjures up that like greatest of all time, but also devil like imagery in there as well too, right? Like those are all synced. I think it's interesting at the end, like the like implication that the league has always been kind of grooming that for you, where you do see, I feel like the people who are supposedly supposed to take, like again, that's where it's the break from reality, where like Arch Manning would be the next guy up, you would think, or whatever, but he's like kind of shit in the bed, right? But like, and that's the reality. That's where it's different. But I don't know. This feels like, to me, again, we let weird creative people have access to the imagery, like kind of outsider opinion and like weird big elements of NFL football, and like this is kind of what we get, and I think that is interesting in some ways, where it's like you do have like that weird jet flyover at the end, and like the mascots as these like almost like characters or visions of like of demigods,
very, like,
and like
they're very like, don't hug me, I'm scared.
Yeah.
You
They're
know what
so
I mean?
strange. Yeah, and like The great, I genuinely love how this is shot. The desert
It is shot phenomenally.
Like, this is the best looking desert I think I've seen maybe ever. Like, that is what the desert looks like to me in my mind. And like, I think most of the time in movies, like they just put a yellow tint over New Mexico and call it,
Yeah, right.
that shit. Like that drives me fucking nuts because that's not what it actually looks like. This is what it looks like. There's hues of different color. Like him running out with Marlon Wayans out there and then like fucking falling down on the ground. And like, then you get a smash cut to the next one. And he's just huffing out there. And I was like, yeah, brother, it'll do that to you if you're not used to it, like all of that was so, that spoke to me on like what on what I know and what I know is different from that area. And that I think was really cool. But like the movie itself, there was no part in this where I was scared. I was interested to see where it would go. I was definitely interested in that. And like, I think the closest the movie comes to creating something like scare wise interesting is the footballs into the launching machine moment.
Yeah, that was nuts. Yeah.
So
I fucking hate that scene.
That's the part where I was just like, okay, we're at least doing something. Like this is
Sure,
cool, right? But like I also like every part of me was just like, all right, I'm very interested if someone who actually plays football or has more of an interest than I do in this sport and this whole thing, what they're feeling from this.
Yeah, I mean the scene right where I kind of first really get turned off is they're doing the quarterback drills with Tyreek Withers, and then they have the guy who's essentially he knows his role, and he's gonna just take a jug. They're called a jug machine, right?
Yeah.
Put the football in, and he's just gonna take jug machine 40-mile-an-hour fastballs to the face, and that's when I was just like, I don't like this movie. Like that was the line, right? Where I was like, I don't like that. And everyone's just like,
I was so interested.
Normal. It's totally normal to everyone, right?
You know,
and it's like you see him kind of combat it a little bit of like, oh, like he's like, well, like what the fuck are we doing? Like how is this helping me at football? Like, you know what I mean? And he kind of combats it a little bit, and then it's like, well, do you want to be the greatest? Then he's like, yeah, you're right. Fuck it. And then he just starts doing the drill. And that's what I was like, I don't like it. What I really want to say though is, without nitpicking a ton, I wish they would have went into the analysis of the sacrifices you do have to take to be ultimately the greatest of all time at something. And there's a line in here where I think actually hits it on the head. It's when Marlon Wayans is talking to Tiger Withers, and it's something we obviously don't agree with on a platonic sense. But he's like, hey, if you're, he gets on him for like cheating on his girlfriend or something like that, like his high school girlfriend. Yeah. And he's like, hey, like if you're not willing to like let your girlfriend down, he's like, you'll never be the greatest at this. And I wish they would have explored more of that, because I do think there's truth to that. Because there's so many sacrifices you would have to go through to be the greatest football player of all time. Do you have to sacrifice time with your family? Absolutely. Do you have to sacrifice time with your children? Absolutely. Otherwise, you wouldn't become the greatest without those sacrifices. And I wish this movie would have taken the grounded sense of that approach.
Yeah.
Right? Of all the sacrifices and how you could be made out to be this horrible person because, like, you're not there. You may have to miss birthdays. You may forget anniversaries. You may forget all those meaningful moments, but you can't be there because you're training to be the greatest. And I kind of wish it would have taken that approach. They like touched on it just briefly.
Well, he gives the line of like, it's not Family God football. It's football Family God.
Yeah.
It's just like, you're in order to do that.
Which I say it's true for any sport, right? If you're the person who wants to be the greatest of all time, 100%. That sport is over everything else.
Well, 100%. I guess that would be my counter. Like, isn't that movie out there already? Like, isn't that sports movie?
I guess maybe.
Isn't that sports movie already like been made and that kind of thing in a couple ways? Like the Smashing Machine coming up, is that not gonna be that movie? Like,
sure, yeah.
But like, I do understand, like, you know, like if that movie was out there and you had the same cast, I think that would be an interesting movie. Like, I think Marlon Wayans fully proves himself as like that old school thing. Like, I bought in as like, that's a guy that's retiring and like has that career behind him kind of thing already and already knows that. Like, I buy him as that experienced partner or experienced role model. You know, I don't know if he always sells sinister as well as I would want him to, but and I think there's parts of this movie that are just plain silly, right? Like that's part of it as well too.
Yeah.
See, it's interesting. I don't think he was going for sinister. I think he was going for psychotic. Like, I don't think and there's moments in the movie where he goes back and forth of like he'll have a that sauna scene that they have.
Yeah,
he's like super chill. He's like, man, you're a good dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like he goes back to being a cool guy. Don't end up, exactly. Yeah. And I think, I don't think he's ever, and he's also not directly responsible for the things that are happening to, I think is his character's name Cade?
Cam Cade, maybe? I don't know. Cam Wade
or something like that. Yeah. I don't know.
But that's also like,
he's not directly responsible for it. He's just kind of playing his part in the process.
Yeah, and that's also that's the Jim Jeffries character as well too, right? He's always like, I'm doing such a good job of preparing you, and that's so sad.
Yeah, the agent.
yeah.
Well, the agent's the Tim Heidecker, who I also did not expect to be in this movie at all as well. But the Australian doctor coach.
Yeah, Jim Jeffries was very interesting casting choice. I don't understand it personally. I don't think it. I kept getting taken away from.
I don't know him outside of it. Like I just
see, that's funny because he's I know him very well as a comedian. I saw him at the Chicago Theater and he pulled his nutsack out on stage. So it's like very hard for me to not see that when I look at him. So that took me out of the movie a little bit. I was like, man, I've seen that guy's genitals. That's interesting. He also at the same show, and there was 2 shows and this was a later one, so he was probably under the influence of something. He called out a guy for not proposing to his girlfriend of like 9 years and then said, propose to her right now. And he didn't. So then he got out in the crowd and kissed his girlfriend in front of him and everybody. Wow. So it was a wild show. But anyway, interesting casting choice for Jim Jeffries.
But I think, I wish they would have taken the realistic route. Even with the route that they took, it's like, okay, whatever, I can live with it, right? And it'll appease the film as it needs to do. But what I didn't enjoy is that some of and I think this is just me being a big football nerd, right? Is that some of the actual drills they're doing are just so counterproductive if you were trying to achieve a task in football.
Sure.
Right. So like I do like the fluidness of his athletic ability. He does look like he's an actual athlete. Right. So I totally commend him for that. But even the other drill where like you're going to have this guy who's your number one prospect. Right. And who you want to take over your franchise. And you're going to put him in a drill where you just got like people just fucking teeing off on him with no blocking.
Oh,
right? Like he's gonna catch a snap.
And like yeah.
Like has to he's gonna catch a snap, and you got 7 people in a row just fucking
cracks the other
running.
Guy.
Yeah. I'm like,
you never ran that drill?
Yeah, but it's right. But then it's like, who would do that? Let alone the guy who's gonna be like the face of this multi-billion-dollar organization. You know what I mean? It's like if you watch modern day football right now, it's so much of the opposite of that. Of like, we need to do everything we can to protect Caleb Williams. And that's why when the O-line plays bad, everyone's frustrated. Right? So it's stuff like that just made it really challenging for me. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Now, some of the shots looked cool, though, because the X-ray shots with that are awesome. Some of my favorite shots.
And I love the fake out of, like, you think he just went down. Because they reverse the
when the other guy gets injured,
when they go X-ray go X-ray, they flip the cameras. So he was initially on the left side of the screen. Then when he goes X-ray, he was initially on the right side of the screen or in the scene. And then when they go X-ray, they put him on the left, or whatever it was. They flipped him, so you think he's actually the one that went down. And then once they go back to normal vision, you realize, oh no, he's somehow the one celebrating.
Absolutely. So those shots were cool. Very like video game-esque, very Mortal Kombat-esque to me, right? Where you see the damage through an X-ray and you see what it's doing to bones and hemorrhaging and things of that nature. Definitely appreciate that. The one scene that I thought they actually did a solid job of building tension in horror is the scene where Cam or Cade or Tyreek Withers, whatever we want to call him, is in the hallway and he's standing between two doors and he's looking into one door and there's the other door behind him.
Yeah.
And they're both dark rooms and you hear like flashes going off for cameras, but you don't see an actual flash. You see a shadowy figure behind him. I think those were kind of the best scenes for horror and suspense, in my opinion. I was like, oh, like this is a good shot. I like seeing that type of tension building in horror, right? To kind of figure out what's going to be next. But outside of that, like I don't think there was anything that really built too much tension, not from my horror brain. Anything from you two, I guess, that stood out in the horror aspect?
I think the like similarly, there's one where he's like standing in a hallway and like a guy shuffles up and wants him to sign his head.
Yeah,
There's
that
one
one.
Oh
too.
yeah, that was a good one too. Yeah, that was a good one too.
Combine, I
Yep.
think.
Yeah. So I like both of those moments. I thought the first time he kind of is slowly dawning on him how like crazy the stuff is with the jugs machine. I think those first few moments are good. I think I understand where it's coming from, but like his moment of like, oh God, I am not in the right place and I don't really have a way to get out of here, I think was pretty good as well too. But no, I think it's a fun movie with horror elements. I don't think it's a horror movie that's super fun in that way.
The one jump scare in the when he's in the like Escalade or whatever,
And the lady,
this crazed fan, Marjorie, I think is her name.
Oh yeah, that actually did get me for a raw.
Yeah, because I just was not expecting.
Yeah, me
too.
too.
In that scene, like not at all. So that got me. But like that, and then that was kind of probably the main.
Her crawling out from under the bench was pretty good. I was just like, ooh.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. That was the other one I was going to mention. That was pretty decent.
Kind of foreshadowed though with the wide shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you didn't have that wide shot when he's talking to Marlon Wayne's character.
Yeah.
It's like once Marlon Wayne character leaves the sauna, they go to the wide shot, right?
But I guess that had been
but yeah, I agree.
Set up earlier with like the other one when he's I think in the like cold room or whatever and like getting the mom's voicemails and stuff. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought some of that stuff. Again, I don't think this movie's amazing, but I had a good time with it, man. Kind of.
Yeah. It's not,
I do want to talk about the Julia Fox character.
I didn't know she was in this movie. Showed up, I was like, oh, that's Julia Fox.
I was trying to figure out who that was for like half the runtime, and I was like, the only person I can think of that's got to be Julia Fox.
Sure.
And then the credits ran. But yeah, she was. I kind of. I don't want to say I called it immediately, but like just kind of like she's got to be in on it, right?
Oh,
it's kind of like my hunch for sure.
No, 100%.
And of course, at the end, you get that she's basically the person. She's not in charge of it. The owner of the Saviors, is basically in charge. But she's the one kind of like orchestrate everything. Of like, she even has a line of like, "Fuck, like, do I have to do everything around here?"
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of cool, and you see her kind of giving him the rundown. It seems like she genuinely wants him to take on that role. I think it's cool they left the ambiguity of like, with her being in on it, is she actually Marlon Wayans or what's his name, Isaiah White?
Isaiah White.
Is she actually his partner, or is like she what comes along with being the franchise quarterback?
Yeah, I think that's all part of it for sure. Right.
I agree too. Yeah. Because she looks very.
But I like the
strange, very off-putting makeup. It's hard to really tell what age she is, and you know what I mean. I think that stuff plays into it. Go ahead.
I like the implication that like the dad was in on it too, with like the photo of the dad and the like
the
owner, and the like kind of moment of like, oh, you've always been set up for this kind of thing, and then him making that choice. Like I do like that moment, and I like that it's not spelled out. Like it's not like full on expositioned for you. You kind of do have to like do some work as the audience there. And I don't mind the Zay and Tyreek fight too. Where they have their little moment there, and then
the gladiator fight.
Yeah, Zay snaps that arm, and then he cracks him with the helmet. I think it gets really silly, like full on ready or not kind of level in the end.
Oh,
but
at the end?
yeah.
See, that's where I was their gladiator fight. That's where I was ready for them to both suit up in like full pads and stuff, and they were gonna go play like a 7-on-7 or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
No,
Which
like-
almost
like-
would have been cool though,
Dude, that
Like,
would've been
what I mean?
cool.
Like, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta take like you want to beat me, like you gotta they play dogfight football from like Top Gun Maverick where they're playing
Yeah.
offense and
Yeah.
defense at the same time or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that. I was expecting that kind of thing. But no, they
Yeah,
just physically fight each other, which I was like, okay, we can do this too, I guess.
Yeah,
More
either
efficient.
that, bro, or even during that, I was also kind of like half expecting Marlon Reigns to like turn into a different entity as
Sure.
they were fighting, right? Almost similar to, or maybe if he doesn't turn into a different entity, almost similar to think of what's my movie with my boy James Split.
Sure.
Right, almost similar to a Split ordeal, right? Where like obviously he's going to be in human form, but like, oh, like this guy's absolutely not human at all, right? Where he can crawl on walls and and all do types of stuff. It's kind of anticipating some of that. One thing that really killed me at the end when he finally comes out the tunnel, Tyreek Withers or Cam, he's talking to the owner, the GM. I can't stand his outfit because to me, like those football pants look like youth football pants that were just made larger for men's.
Sure.
Like that's not how men's football pants look.
Yeah,
Right? It's like that absolutely killed me.
That would be a thing that would have bothered me as well too. Like,
Oh
if I
my
knew that.
god,
Yeah.
killed me, dude. Like no other. And I was like, there's no way. How could they not just put that in the budget of just
Sure.
like, it
Sure.
yeah. So that killed me.
Fair. I talked about this or touched on this in non-spoilers, but I do think the world building is cool. Like when they open up the scene and it is kind of like the saviors versus I forgot who they were playing, whatever. But they make the
in the
league-
USFF.
Yeah, exactly. They do a good job of like making it feel like the world revolves around this league of football. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Mhm.
this is everybody's like the world is football. And like the saviors are that team, like that kind of thing. I think they did a good job of kind of building it up in that way of like this is
Yeah.
what every single person cares about. And then while doing that, also kind of making the analogies or like the threading the imagery of like the United States and stuff like that, where there are places in the country that are like that. Like
Yeah.
think about SEC football and stuff like
For
that,
sure.
and Texas Friday Night Lights, that kind of thing. It's like there are places where it is that big of a deal. And so I think that was an interesting kind of take on that of like, still people do worship this game to that degree. Which
Absolutely.
I thought was interesting, kind of just make
Yeah.
the whole world like that.
Mhm.
I like that a lot.
Was anybody else trying to figure out what USFF stood for? Like, I don't know if they ever gave us a formality of that.
United States Football Federation, I would imagine.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Thank you. Wasn't sure if they said that on screen, but I was like, what does that possibly stand for?
Yeah, it was,
But okay.
Makes sense.
that'd probably be my guess. Trying to think of what other thoughts I had because there was something that Adam was saying that was triggering another thought in my head, but I don't remember it now. Yeah, still didn't hate it. Also understand why other people didn't like it. I think I'm unique in that I'm not a huge football fan. I like movies more, and this one didn't bother me that much. If it was baseball or MMA, I think I would have way more thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's also, I don't know, it's kind of cool to see someone just like go in there and like mess with what they can and see what they come up with as well too. Like the like I think the imagery of like those Americana type things with like the cheerleaders, the flyovers, like what they choose to pull out as like football, I find really interesting, and like and what they have in there. And then like I really think the location is super cool and interesting too. Like that like kind of semicircle where there is a field on the right that was like down in the like
Yeah,
a
it was like
pit.
all his house.
Yeah, that was
He's, like,
really
ridiculously wealthy.
But, like-
yeah.
But like also like if you've ever seen Tom Brady, like it's not a big jump, folks. Like
Mhm.
you've ever heard
Yeah.
that dude talk, you're just like, you're not a normal person. Like what the fuck are you talking about? The Jordan Peele of it all. How do you guys feel afterwards? Do you feel like do you feel like, what if Jordan Peele directed this one? Like, actually, do you think there would be more on there? Do you think that would have been more of a
Absolutely.
realistic
I
side?
think there'll be a little
Yeah.
more meat on the bone.
I think there would absolutely, yeah. I think this would have gone different places. I think I think we would have gotten more on field football. Like, I think this would have had a bigger budget to do stuff like that too. Obviously,
Would you rather have Jordan Peele directed Weapons or Jordan Peele directed him?
Ooh,
Yeah, what's crazy, I know he missed out on Weapons.
Right. So like,
right.
Yeah, he's probably kicking himself for that for sure.
Well, he
But,
fired
I
his
mean-
management team. That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
I
think I would. This is so abstract. I would rather see Jordan Peele attack this.
was going to say
I-
the same
sure.
thing.
I think this is kind of more. I see how he ended up being a producer on this. This is that very abstract field of kind of what he does. Where Weapons to me is a little more traditional.
Yeah.
Horror story.
I think that makes sense.
I would agree. And also, like, it's tough asking that question after I've seen both movies. You know what I mean? Like, Weapons landed fine. Like, Weapons is a great movie.
Fair.
And I don't need that redone with Jordan Peele.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
This is a movie where I'm like, the bones would be
I liked
are
both
there,
of them.
and I would like to see him dressed up with Jordan Peele. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Anyway, we don't. I think we've covered good ground on this, and
Yeah,
we
sorry.
can probably move on now to spoilers. Oh no, we're good. Unless anyone has any final closing thoughts here.
What do you? Yeah, one last kind of question here
Sure.
for the group. So we always see Marlon Wayans reference like anytime like he was gonna go off screen. He's like,
I'm gonna go
I'm gonna
watch
go watch
tape.
some film.
Watch film.
Yeah. So like, what do you guys think he was doing? Like that is a very cool thing to add in there because I do think you have to watch a ton of film, right, to excel and be the GOAT at any sport. But like what do we think he was doing? I don't think he was watching film. Like I don't know if he's doing
Well,
some
I
more
think
sacrificial. Is that the word I'm looking for?
I think they were. I
Stuff?
think it's kind
I
of
don't
implied that every time he was doing that, he was going to his little sanctuary chamber, watching the people cheer for him. Like I think that's what watching film was for him. I think
Okay.
that's what it implied because he kept mentioning it, and it was 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And then I was like, we're gonna find out what watching film
Yeah, definitely.
really means at some point. And I think that's what that scene where they have that
Okay.
gladiator battle is. I think that's kind of the reveal is that he's been psychotic this whole time and like does feel like a god and like that kind of thing, and he's just soaking all that in.
So yeah, I guess that could be the case. Maybe I didn't see that because I will admit I got up and went to the bathroom like literally 40 minutes because that's how much I was like, I don't fucking like this
you
at all.
might have missed a line because I think before that happens, before that scene, the last time we see him, he does say that he's gonna go watch film, and then that's where we find him. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's definitely what happened. I almost saw it as like the I need to go return some videotapes from American
Yes,
Psycho.
that's how I was, and he kept saying it very monotone.
Yeah.
I took it as American Psycho. Yep.
So yeah, I definitely read it as like he's going off to his inner sanctum to do his shit, and like that's where he's being wild kind of stuff. But like again, to your point, like that's a very elite athlete shit to like do of like,
for
okay,
sure.
I'm done with you. I'm going to go do my next thing now. And like my next thing is being obsessive about this job kind of thing. So that I kind of bought in on that as well too, but I did like that kind of like reveal of what watching film was, and I thought that did tie in again to that element of like he wants to preserve him being worshipped, and like his in that element where he is almost like a demigod in some ways because he's been given this role, and there are people that do worship him. There are people that are that bought in on him and that kind of thing. And I mean, you talk to some of the people that support Tom Brady, and you're like, there is not much different. Like,
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
that is
Well, yeah,
definitely a
Sports to
thing.
political figures to anything.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say, like,
It's
that's
religion.
something that's another kind of theme this movie points to, or at least like tries to point out, is like there are figures in American sports that aren't that far off from this character that
Right.
they have him portray, like that genuinely. I'm not gonna say they could flat out get away with murder, but pretty close. Like, pretty close. So you think about LeBron James or Tom Brady, and it's just like those people, like they transcend, like, I don't even know what word I'm looking for, but some people do
Cultural
look at them in that
norms.
way.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, or just like
Celebrity.
so yeah, exactly. I mean, they become myth and legend
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. It's like,
No, like you hear
they
people
do
talk
get to
about
that point.
Terrence Crawford nowadays. My favorite
Mhm.
of these current figures. Hearing people talk about Terrence Crawford is also one of my favorite versions of Terrence Crawford as well too. Like just
Mhm.
hearing them describe him.
Yeah.
Like just talking about like him wearing Tim's somewhere or something. Like he's like
yeah.
the ultimate arbiter of like the black boxer. Like he's the best. I love Terrence Crawford.
Yeah. That's funny.
But like, yeah, I do think that's part of it. Like people, they become folk heroes in some ways. Like
Absolutely.
they're American
Absolutely.
folk heroes, and like that's a level that is worth exploring, I think, and worth exploring in this manner. And yeah, I'm into it. I understand everyone's criticisms of this movie, but I like it. I'll be in his corner.
Fair enough. All right. Well, let's welcome back listeners who skipped over non-spoiler or the spoiler section of the pod. We're gonna go ahead and at least give you an idea of where we would tier or rank this movie on our Entropy list here. If you don't know, Entropy list, it's all the movies we reviewed all on one list compared to one another. Kind of our rating system. We added tiers recently. Come back for a more regular review when Tyler's here, and you'll hear the whole rigmarole. But 7 tiers here, of course. We got S tier, A tier, B tier, C, D, F, and the money laundering tier.
Becoming more and more of a real thing, by the way. Have we talked about this? How like
Are you referencing something I'm missing?
Oh, just the CBS is trying to buy Warner Brothers and stuff.
Oh,
and, like
sure,
that kind of nonsense.
Yeah, there's some funny stuff going on, huh? I would probably put this in the D tier.
Brother.
I don't think it's quite F, but like, dude, C tier ends in Blind Spotting. It's just like that movie's leaps and bounds better, in my opinion. And then you still have like to contend with Bodies, and
movie I don't like.
There's a couple other ones. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, we probably try to move that one up.
Yeah, D tier is for listeners. D tier is 192 Ferrari, all the way to 217 with the infamous Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Yeah, I would say
I almost
honestly,
want to watch that again, like just to
that movie is so bad, dude. That should honestly be an F tier movie.
Just to experience.
And I was fighting for it on the fucking rankings, but I didn't win. But you can't tell me that's in the same lane as Fantastic Four First Steps.
No, Fantastic Four Steps is
that one's way
much better. Yeah.
It's much better. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's fair. If we were ranking this, I probably would put it at 192 below Blind Spotting and above Ferrari. I do think it fits kind of right there. So top of D tier, bottom of C tier is actually probably right where I'd ended up putting it if we were actually ranking this. Now that I look at this whole list, so take that for what you will. It's a tweener for me.
Yeah, because this is different. Because like if you just ask me like of those tiers, where do you rank this, Nathaniel? It's like it's a B- for me, but like I don't think that would line up with where we have things
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So what's bottom B tier? I was trying to do this without my phone, but now I'm gonna have to pull it up
Bottom
here.
of B tier is The Notebook. So 153.
Don't. Okay. Where's Coherence?
Way higher.
Okay, good, because I love that movie. Thinking about that movie today.
Coherence is I'm looking at the tier list. I'm not on
99.
the actual entry list. Yeah. Which, Adam, I assume you're updating that tier list then?
Yes, it
Right,
should be
okay,
updated.
yeah.
Should
All right,
be
sorry,
up to
Blake.
date.
What did you say was the bottom of B? 105?
The Notebook.
The Notebook.
A B as in boy. The bottom of B as in boy is The Notebook.
Creator, Independence Day.
Blake, do you have an idea?
Yeah, off the top, I mean, I was immediately going D tier. And then I see the films in there. And I'm like, okay, like I think I had the right basis. Getting it to low C tier is tough for me.
So C
Right,
plus
really
tier
tough.
for me, boys. I've decided.
C plus tier. Okay.
So I'd put this like around the creator, below it, somewhere in that range. You know, the island I think is around there as well too.
Okay, yeah,
Still a little
yeah.
high, in my opinion, but I hear you.
Yeah, I think I'm probably. There are some redeeming qualities of it though, and like the D list is bad. I'm probably a D pluser, D to D plus, right? So I'm looking like I do like this more than Matrix Resurrections. That movie fucking blows, right? But then like Candyman, also another film
This
people
is-
think Jordan Peele produced.
This
or
is one
directed, pardon
that
me.
it reminded me a lot of Candyman 2023.
Yeah.
or
Another Jordan
whatever
Peele
that
production,
was. Yeah,
not direction, which I'm sure there's people who still think that's a Jordan Peele film.
sure.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. I think I'm D plus to D. Only one that's like D minus I would ultimately really put above this. Like different genre, of course, but Forgetting Sarah Marshall is way too low.
I love
It
that
is.
movie.
Yeah.
like-
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
how-
that's a solid
I think
comedy
it just
movie.
sank. I think it
For
just
sure.
sank.
Yeah, we don't have enough
We should
comedy to
probably
give
move
it
that up.
context.
Yeah, we don't. But
Yeah.
we'll get that adjusted at
Yeah.
some point. But I think.
But outside of that, everything else in D
It's
tier, I
too
think
low.
is like I kind of feel the same way I feel about this film.
Sure.
Where are you at, brother?
That sounds like we're in the same spot. Like I
Okay.
said, I think
yeah.
below Blind Spotting, above Ferrari is where I would rank it at 192. So kind of in that high D, low C tier.
I'll give it
Which
C
isn't
plus.
A terrible place to be. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure Tyler
Alright.
would even us out a little bit lower, but you know, we're chilling.
Probably.
Yeah, it'll probably come in ranked somewhere a 190 something.
I mean,
right?
Genuinely, give Marlon Wayans
200s.
give Marlon Wayans more roles. My man, that
Yeah,
like,
more
if-
serious roles
if
too. At that,
anything,
Yeah.
more
like-
serious roles.
Like,
Yeah,
if anything out of this movie, let that happen, man. He was so good in this. Like, I genuinely bought him as an over the hill athlete. Like, that was great once.
I'm here for it.
You guys been watching anything?
I do have one thing to mention, which I don't think we did while we were watching it last week. But not too long ago, like a week or two ago, I went and saw, and I think I mentioned to you guys how I saw La La Land live in concert with the composer Justin Hurwitz. So this was months ago. This was earlier this
I
year.
do remember
think
that.
like
Yeah.
April. Yeah. So it was La La Land, and then the composer Justin Hurwitz also came and conducted the Chicago Philharmonic, and so they played the score of the movie while projecting the movie on screen, so you heard the score live. He came back and did that for one of my personal favorites, Whiplash, and so a couple weeks ago, got and saw that, and dude, that was even better than La La Land.
I would imagine
and
because of the drumming.
Because of the drumming, and they brought in some. I'm not expert on drummers or whatever,
someone.
but they brought in a very high level drummer from
Sure.
I think he was out of New York or something like that, and he crushed it, dude. And like, made me like that movie even more for a couple reasons. Because I kept in the moment thinking back to La La Land performance. In La La Land, it was a very big split, and this was my first time doing the live orchestra thing. It was a very big split of like, I want to pay attention to the band playing the music and see that performance, while also trying to pay attention to the movie and kind of going back and forth. A testament to Whiplash was like how much I was just kept getting sucked into the movie, where I was like forgetting that there was a band performing the music. I kept having to remind myself to like look away from the screen because of how much I was just kind of invested, even though I've seen that movie so many times. So testament on that front, but also made me enjoy it of like seeing that guy perform all of those drumming pieces live. Like it was unbelievable. Like and you don't like watching the movie. I would never have understood how impressive and tough like those pieces are, and some of that music is. But like the finale of the movie, I never even looked at the screen once because of just watching this guy do like almost 12 minutes straight of drumming. It felt like, I think it's 8 to 12 minutes, somewhere in that range. And that whole finale is just insane. And watching him do that and kind of just getting a bigger appreciation for how hard that is and how that looks in real life.
I can
and
see
everything.
how that would be a more rewarding experience than the La La Land
Absolutely.
one.
And yeah, it definitely was. It definitely was. And what I was nervous about was in La La Land, you don't really have people playing instruments. So if the movies and the band's off sync a little bit, you're less clued into it unless you like really know the movie that well. With Whiplash, I was curious because I was like, man, I think not that you could blame anybody. There's nothing you can do about it. But the band can't be perfectly in sync.
No,
with the
they
movie,
wouldn't be.
and especially as they're playing music. They actually did a really good job to the point where like
I'm sure they rehearsed.
it barely ever crossed my mind for the most part. Like they did a really good job on that front. So I was impressed by that too. But yeah, man, it was an awesome experience because I mean, you guys know that's one of my favorite movies, if not my favorite movie ever. And like to see that live with everything was just awesome. It was incredible.
When I went to England the first time for for my dissertation, basically in undergrad, one of the things I did was go to the movie film festival, and I went and saw a bunch of movies. One of which was Coherence, and What We Do in the Shadows as well too was part of that.
Okay.
The original movie, but one of the last bits that they did was Suspiria, the original movie with the original band from the soundtrack and doing it as well too. And it was one of those things where my train left at like 10 and like the show was at like 7, and I was like, I will get out of this and not actually have time to like get over to the train station because I know myself and I'll want to like it'll go late or something for some reason kind of thing. And so I didn't end up going, and it's one of my biggest regrets. Like I do wish I had gone and seen that and saw that with the original band and stuff, because that's another soundtrack that's just so wild and weird. I wish I could have gone and experienced that, but yeah. Glad you got to see it as well, friend.
Yeah. And if you guys haven't done the live orchestra thing, it is really cool to see.
Yeah, I'd like to do it.
I know that it's not, there's a bunch of movies they do it with at a bunch of different places.
Tron Legacy.
Well, I mean, if Daft Punk wants to go on tour with that, I'm there. But I don't think they're on good terms.
Let's do Back Row Banter goes and sees Tron Legacy in concert.
And we podcast live while they're playing the Tron soundtrack.
That's how you do it.
The Grid.
We'll put it on Patreon.
One day, I got in.
And one day, I got in. Great movie. Yeah, I haven't watched too much else besides that. I'm in the middle of a Charlie Sheen docu-series, 2-part docu-series on Netflix.
Don't care.
Oh, okay.
Not about you watching it. I don't care about Charlie Sheen at this point. Like he's just
fair. That's valid. I guess watching this documentary, I didn't realize how much of his prime it seems like I missed, and like how big of a star he was before 2.5 Men.
Yeah.
I didn't very fully appreciated that because my main association with him is 2.5 Men because I was on growing up and he was on the show at that time and everything. So that's like my main association with him. I didn't realize like quite the height of his stardom. And then how big the fall and like all that. So interesting learning about him and his career and everything around it.
Think you go watch
So I'm
some Charlie Sheen movies?
maybe what's the well, I never put the association. I was watching this. Never put the association that Emilio Estevez,
Is his brother?
they're brothers. Never knew
Oh,
that.
brother.
Never in a million years knew that. So
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
quite the reveal. And then I recognized his dad. I don't know why I never put that together. I guess his dad, I just never really
His dad
knew
looks like Emilio.
the actor by his name. Yes, they definitely do. So now I'm putting that all together is giving me greater context for things. But yeah, there's definitely some movies in Charlie Sheen's collection that I might go revisit. But interesting story, and seems the way they're portraying him in this docuseries, and I'm not gonna, glorify drug addictions, but it seems like he was a better person than people made him out to be, and maybe just had some problems that sometimes just got out of his control. Is kind of seems how they're playing it. And I think that the documentary, to its credit, does a good job of like not trying to mince words or hide what happened or kind of fluff him up or anything like that. They have Denise Richards on. I think that's her name, right?
Yes.
His ex-wife. They have her on, and she was like, I didn't want to do this, but then if I don't do this and tell you guys, the side of Charlie that was bad and all the bad stuff that happened, then this is going to be one giant fluff piece or whatever. And it's like, all right, I respect that. At least that they're going out of their way to include that and include some of her stuff and stuff. So I don't know, good docuseries so far. I'm in the middle of the second part right now, and I would recommend if you're interested. It's on Netflix.
Question is always, is he a producer?
Good question. I don't know. But I haven't watched much else besides that, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Anyone else watch anything interesting?
I watched The Running Man.
I don't know if I'm familiar with that.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, as well as the guy that used to host Family Feud. So genuinely, this is one I had seen before. I thought it was Demolition Man with Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone. And then they have the new one coming out with our boy Glenn Powell, and
Yes.
directed by Edgar Wright. But also, like, the core story is based off of another Richard Bachman, aka Stephen King. So we just had Long Walk, and now we're getting Running Man remake. So I wanted to rewatch the original, and it was on Netflix. And so I turned it on, and I was like, oh shit, I've seen this. This is not the movie I thought that it was, which was Demolition Man. So I did end up watching the whole thing. I did enjoy it. Apparently it's very different from the book / new movie as well too. So yeah, pretty interesting. Goes the yeah, I would. It goes the like kind of neo what's the word I'm looking for? Like neo thriller kind of route of it's all a video game, you're a condemned man, you have to be the running man, or not video game, but a game show. You go on this game show and participate as the running man, and all of these government official stalkers come after you and try and kill you. And if you survive, you get your sentence commuted, kind of thing. But no one's ever survived, really, kind of thing.
And no one volunteers for it when you think about it.
Whoa. You're too woke, bro.
I'm just quoting Long Walk, man. Still thinking about that.
So yeah, that was the other thing that I watched this week. Caught up with Peacemaker. I don't know if anyone else has watched that. Probably Heidler would have. Really good show.
Is that the second season?
Yeah, it is second season at this point.
Yeah, I've
everyone
heard
says
good
great things about it.
that. For sure, bro.
A lot, so
For sure.
It's funny.
it's good.
I enjoy it. Yeah. And what was the other thing?
Are those hour episodes?
Nah, like 30 to
Those DC
45.
shows?
Yeah, 30 to 45 minutes at the most. Like they don't.
Yeah.
Maybe occasionally, like the final episode will be like an hour or something like that, but it's definitely like varies in between, kind of thing. Crap. I feel like there's one other thing that I was watching. Oh, have you guys seen Dawn to Dawn? at all? The anime?
Oh, I've heard of Dawn to Dawn.
Yeah. Caught up
And
more.
I've heard good things.
Yeah, caught up more on that. So I read a lot of it. I've seen the first season, and then I got Netflix back, so I watched more of the second season. And it's a guy that believes in UFOs, and like, so the girl that he's talking to gets abducted by aliens, and the girl believes in ghosts, so the same guy gets like haunted and possessed, and then they both gain powers from that, and then have to deal with the other two things basically from that. It's fun
I've
and
heard
funny. Good anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, good show.
Yeah.
Blake, I also I checked in with my Montana Grizz, and
Oh, okay.
I think we're
How we
3-0.
doing? I didn't catch their game this weekend.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're 3-0. As we should be. Yes,
Let's see
63-20. We spanked them. So
Yeah, Indiana State. Yeah.
we
All
we
right.
squeaked out the other one from North Dakota. I was worried on that
Mhm.
one. But yeah, next week we've got the Idaho Vandals. So not looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think Idaho is like respectable, not as good as Montana though. That's a game they should handle.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm
Idaho's
not
respectable.
confident.
Sure. So yeah, definitely.
Missouri Tigers are doing well.
Keep an eye on that. I got to a few things. Chugging through Snowfall. With Desmond Idris
Now,
on that.
Is that the first time you've watched it, or is that
Whoa.
the?
I started it.
Okay.
6 seasons, Adam. I started it maybe like 2 years ago, and I only got through like 3 episodes and never went back.
Okay, I do.
And then
vaguely...
I just went back like a month and a half ago.
Okay, and now we're all in.
Yeah. So we're chugging through, and it is good. I can see this catapulting him into obviously getting F1, which is a major blockbuster.
Sure.
Right. So yeah, I think he'll have a shot at doing some things. I don't know if they'll ever do a Black Bond, but I think he could be someone who could fit that because he's also younger. Right.
Well,
so
him or the cat from Long Walk. Was he from?
Yeah, he's
British
he's
too,
also
right?
he's also British. Yeah, he's from the UK. So I think
Either or.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whenever they decide to do that, I think those are the two. If they end up going the minority route, if not a woman, if they go an ethnic minority, I think it's going to be between those two. So yeah, we'll see when they get there. Next thing, last week we were talking about The Long Walk, and we were talking about adaptations of Stephen King.
Yeah.
And kind of where that ranks in from his books to film. And I was like, man, there's another old movie that's a classic though. And I kept saying Poltergeist. And Nathaniel was like, no, it's not Poltergeist. It's not Poltergeist. And it turned out to be Misery was the film I was looking for.
Misery's great.
And I watched it. I watched it last week for the first time. I've always known what it was, never watched it. So I knew the premise and everything of it. Awesome movie.
It's
awesome
so
movie.
good.
Awesome
So
movie.
good.
Yeah. Kathy Bates in that is one of the
so creepy.
One of the excellent women horror portrayals that we get. Right. That's a phenomenal role. Phenomenal.
And like she's so not like overbearing, but like in control through like so much of it as well too.
Yeah.
And then except when she's not like, yeah, man.
It was good. So like I knew the concept of it, right? I didn't and I knew she was a fan favorite, right, in our community for that role. Didn't really know the like psychosis behind it and how deep it dove into that. And like so that was a really fun watch to see, let alone coming off Stephen King. So I think that's the film I was referencing. I was like, there's an older one that people really like, and it seems like The Long Walk is doing well.
I think so.
But yeah, I think those two got to be within the top 3 or 4, right, book to film adaptations, right? People really love Misery.
Did you?
It's still got a great rating. It's basically like it came out in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you look into like any of the differences between the book and the movie?
A little bit. I didn't
Yeah.
finish deep diving it on Reddit. I wanted to go like super deep dive it.
Yeah.
I
I
but yeah,
mean,
where are they at?
I mean, mostly it's like what happens in what happens in the hobbling scene that people talk about, and
That's the one that
yeah.
I did hear is where they hobble them with she uses basically a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
I think in the book they said like she actually like, cuts his shit off.
Yeah, it's an axe and a blowtorch. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like fucking insane. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so did that. That was a fun watch to kind of get back in the older's 80s
yeah.
horror.
No, man, I'm feeling it this year. I feel like I'm gonna rent so many horror movies in October.
Are you going to OGs? Are you going like back to like
so.
80s and 90s
I
having
think
fun?
so,
Or
yeah.
are you looking for modern ones you've just missed on?
I mean, I definitely want to watch Strange Darling and Oddity from last year.
Oddity's awesome.
Okay.
Oddity is awesome. I'd recommend.
So I want to watch both of those, but then yeah, I'm kind of interested in like those old school ones, like maybe like the Hammer horror, where it's like the like Frankenstein, Dracula, but it's just like full of blood and like all sorts of crazy stuff as well too. Like I'm kind of into like weird old shit at this point and see what's out there.
I hear you, brother. It'll be fun, and like it looks like, not to spoil it for listeners, but I think we're gonna have two classic horrors hit our pod in October, right?
Sure.
So stay tuned for two of those. Which
Bit of Sizzle.
We only have a handful of those, right? I think we got the OG Halloween, we got the. And I think that's really it when it comes to like true classics. And in that field, a lot of new stuff we got.
Yeah, because we didn't rank Exorcist 1, right?
I could have sworn we did that movie, but like, yeah, it's not on the entry list. So I think we just talked about it briefly, unfortunately, for the Exorcist believer. But yeah, so got to that. That's going to start off my kickoff for that. Obviously been watching football. Bears got a W. See my man Adam just sat back down. So me and him were kind of shooting some texts back and forth on Sunday. Bears W. They looked like a quality football team. Granted, they played the Cowboys. The Cowboys are a bad football team, for sure. But hey, to
defense still got
be absolutely. But you can only beat who they put on your schedule, and ultimately, the Cowboys are a bad football team, and we beat up on them. So that's good, right? That's what you want to do to bad football teams. You go in there and beat up on them. Games shouldn't even be close. So that was pleasant to see. That was pleasant to see. My Ravens are struggling, man. They're struggling. The offense is very good. They've scored 30 plus points in every game. They've scored 40 plus points in 2 games, and they've won 1 football game this year. So yeah, that one's a little struggle.
Crazy stat
yeah,
they're not aware of.
It's bad, dude. It's bad. I think they have the number 1 scoring offense, and they've given up the most points in the NFL. So it's all around.
Not a good combination.
No, it's not, man. It's not. So I mean, as you know, football, like there's divisions involved. Like they'll probably win their division because the Bengals are terrible, the Browns are terrible.
Yeah, how about that? They just get to skate to the playoffs every year.
Yeah, so they'll probably win the division. But yeah, as far as like that team trying to win a championship, man, like their defense is like. It's almost similar to like watching like a Bears Cowboys defense where you're like, yeah, these guys, like I can't tell if they're that bad or if these other defenses are that good or other offenses are that good. Sorry. But yeah, they consistently just look very, very bad on defense and like, giving up a ton of points.
Yeah.
There were 2 drives.
Listen, 3 weeks is not a fluke, you know?
Yeah, right. For sure. And there were 2 drives yesterday. They're playing the Lions. The Lions went like 96 yards for a touchdown twice, which is just like a sign of terrible defense.
Yeah.
So we'll see. They play the Chiefs next week, and that's in my opinion, it's early, but it's a desperate game for 2 teams. It's 2 teams that have high expectations for themselves, and it's 2 teams that are both 1-2. So the loser of that falls to 1-3, and that's not a good position to be in football. So yeah, so we'll see. I think the Bears got the Raiders. Do the Bears have the Raiders next week, Adam? Is that who the Bears play? Which is like a winnable game. A winnable game. The Bears should go in there and handle that. If they can handle that the way they handle the Cowboys, I think the Bears will be in a good position. Obviously not talking championship levels, right? And by any means, but if the Bears can beat up on the bad teams, right? It's like that's all we're looking for this year. Beat up on the bad teams, maybe
And you
steal
know
a game
what?
you're not supposed to, be competitive.
Right.
If we can get
And
8-9 wins, let's do it. So
they have a pretty
Yeah.
tough schedule overall, so you got to win these games.
yeah, you gotta
win
beat
the
up the
games
teams you're supposed to.
that you're supposed to win. Like the
Um,
Vikings and the Lions. Say what you want about the Vikings with the rookie quarterback, and say
Yeah.
what you want about the Lions without Ben Johnson, but like those are good teams at the end of the day. I don't know if we were necessarily supposed to win either of those games, but then you look at the Cowboys, we're favored and we cover
Yeah.
almost double the spread, I think.
Absolutely. So here, looking at the Bears schedule here for you, brother, they play the Raiders this week, which in my opinion
Okay.
is a very winnable game. The Raiders do not
Absolutely.
look like a good football team.
They're a football team.
Yeah, they don't look like a good football team. So it should ideally if we're sticking to the script, beat up on the teams we're supposed to, right? I think it'll be close. I don't think we're like pulling away from anybody, but should be close. Then we play the Commanders after that, which could be a little tricky. But we've had some good games with the Commanders the past few years, despite how talented they are now. So
Well, last
obviously,
year, I don't
the
wanna
Hail
talk about
Mary,
that
yeah,
game.
we died. And then after that,
Yeah.
they play the Saints, another team who's like very bad. So if we can get two of these 3 wins, Adam, I think that's that kind of just makes the team feel better, makes the city feel better.
Start the season 3-3.
Yeah.
Worst things have happened.
Worst things have happened, right? So we gotta get 2 of the next 3 wins.
Which I think is
and
doable.
there's 2 really bad teams in these 3 wins. So yeah, you gotta
yeah,
get 2. One is like you can live with it but feel bad. If we lose both to the Raiders and the Saints, that's a sign
that's
of disaster.
a very bad sign.
For sure,
It
brother.
was encouraging to see Caleb play really well, and
Yep.
also encouraging to see DJ Moore not look like he wants to kill
Yep,
himself.
I agree.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like he
I
looked
agree.
like he enjoyed playing football for once with the
Mhm.
Chicago Bears. So that was a good sign because you don't want your wide receiver 1 to
Yeah.
look
Be
like he wants
checked
to
out
trade.
mentally. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. So and Luther Burden first touchdown, baby.
Yeah, that was
Let's
good.
go.
He got some more tick
got
this game too, which was
he got a few
good to
a
see.
few more targets. Yeah,
Yeah, which is good to
absolutely.
see. So
I think they'll slowly start turning him up, and I'm
I agree.
hoping Ben Johnson, if he hasn't already, I think he's probably maybe looking at Luther as like a second half weapon potentially of like, I'm not going to show everything this kid can do or what we have drawn up for him, and when we need to pull out those plays like we did against the Cowboys, like he is a sneaky go-to guy for Ben Johnson because he's got the speed. You can.
Yep, he's proved that for sure.
Yep. So I
agree.
think he's.
He had a big 3rd down catch or something like
Right.
that, right in the red zone. That was good too. So yeah, he's showing that he can be relied upon. So yeah, that's good.
Absolutely.
That's good. I think there's still room for improvement though. Still, the Bears are not
Always.
a good football team though. I want to be clear on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they can beat up who they're supposed to beat up, the offense does look serviceable. But the defense, we got to work on the defense though, for sure.
Yeah. Agreed.
So, yeah, man, that's where we're at. So we'll check in next week playing the Raiders, brother. Hopefully we can do it.
Yeah. Missouri Tigers football doing really well. 4-0 start.
Okay. So they beat South Carolina the other week. I was watching some of that
did.
game, but then I turned it off.
They did.
Okay.
Really good game.
Nice.
Really good game.
Yeah.
Our Ahmad Hardy, our running back 1, has over 600 yards in 4 games.
Wow. Okay.
Or about 600 yards. He's a beast, dude. I don't know if you've seen some of his highlights.
I'm gonna have to watch. The only game I saw was a little bit of the South Carolina game.
Okay. Well, if you haven't seen Ahmad Hardy highlights, do yourself a favor and watch some, because that's the best running back I've seen at Missouri.
Okay.
By far, and we've had Cody Schrader, be named like the best running back in the SEC a couple years ago, and we saw Tyler Beatty before that, and Tyler, like, we've had some good running backs. Like, we're a good running back school, and this is the best one by far, dude. He's insane, and his yards after contact, like, he just does not go down. So early, so he's getting some slight buzz for like a early Heisman contender. Okay. I'm not gonna jinx anything, but
yeah, I see their
600 yards.
Ranks.
Yeah, I think they moved up to 20 this week or something.
Yeah, that's what they're showing.
But he has almost double the amount of yards as the second running back, I think.
Yeah, right. So yeah, he's a monster right now.
He's a beast, dude. So it's fun to watch. Our quarterback's good. Missouri football is doing all right.
Sounds good. Well, they got
hopefully keep
UMass
chugging
this
along.
week, which UMass is one of the worst programs in the history
Yeah,
of Division I
yeah.
football. So like,
got to keep your eye on the ball though.
yeah, I mean,
You
yeah,
know,
but they
that's-
should handle this pretty easily, right? This would
Yeah.
be a massive
At home, too,
upset
that would
to
be
lose
insane.
this game.
So yeah,
sure.
I'm feeling all right about that. And then
Yeah, bang
everyone's
the
just
over,
talking about
bang the over, bang
Yeah.
the spread. I
Yeah.
don't bet, but I will say that seeing the Missouri lineup on UMass.
yeah, absolutely.
Then after that, you play
Um,
Alabama. That's when it.
Well,
that's
they
the
look
next challenge.
suspect.
They do
The
though.
tough part
it's not the Alabama of 10 years
Although,
ago. I
do we
agree.
play them at home?
It is home. Yep, it is home.
Oh, okay, that changes things. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
They look suspect, and then Oklahoma looks really good, but their quarterback just got surgery today. So I
yeah.
don't know. But we don't play him until November, so there's a chance he's back in time for our matchup.
Yeah,
But
see November.
I know he was
22nd.
also a Heisman candidate so far, like an early one.
Oh,
So I don't know. We'll see how the
starting
schedule
well.
plays out.
Playoffs look in reach, man.
They
Playoffs
very,
look in reach for
very
you
well.
boys.
They
They gotta-
very well do look in reach.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to get ahead of myself. But
Of
yeah,
course.
it's
Still a
looking
long
good.
way to
And
go.
it's a long way to go, and it's what I'm just encouraged because I wasn't sure, and I don't think a lot of people are sure what Missouri football was going to look like this year after we lost like a core essentially of Luther Burden, our two receivers who had been there 2 or 3 years, our quarterback, our starter for 3 years. It was kind of like, all right, well, how does Coach Drink, like, how does he rebuild kind of the program, or like what does he bring in and lock down the transfer portal land? Seems like they got a good thing going, and the fact that they lost such a huge portion of their offense and their offense still looks this good is very encouraging. Our secondary is porous, to put it lightly. I mean, it is. They were leaving some guys wide open, so got some work to do in the secondary. But anyway, MIZ. Let's get on out of here.
Alrighty.
Woo!
Yeah. Thank you all for joining us, especially if you're into this far into the episode. You're our favorite type of listener. We really do appreciate it. Do us a favor, share the podcast, share with a friend, family member, maybe a fellow athlete or football player of yours. While you're doing that, you can follow us on Twitter at Banter Row. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We're Backer Banter, and our email is backerbanterpod@gmail.com if you want to send us one of those. You can find me on Letterboxd at H, that's AYYSH, and on Twitter at H24. BlakeHolder, where can the people find you at, my man?
Letterboxd, BlakeHolder, be on there, log some things, rate them out of 5 stars. I want to say 2 is either 2.5 or 2, similar to Adam. PSN, Mr. Water Coolers, Xbox, Mr. Water Coolers. I think I'm going to go back to God of War Ragnarok, fellas. Great game, incredibly challenging though, but I think I'm going to go back to it. Yeah, that's all I got. Let's go, Nathaniel.
Yeah, you can always find me on Instagram and Letterboxd at NathanielG92 and at Blue Sky and Skingrick. Adam, get us out of here.
Yeah, I think that's going to do it here for this Bit of Sizzle episode. Thank you all for joining us. Check out. Oh, what are we watching next week? Ooh, almost got away with that.
Isn't it the one we were talking about earlier?
Got you right here.
Big one.
It's Tyler's birthday pick.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
God,
Forgot about
dang
that.
it. We should consider doing one battle after another.
Yeah, I thought
but,
that's what it was.
I don't think
Is that the Leo joint?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. Sure.
We can discuss.
But we don't want to rob my boy of his
and
B-Day
then-
pick. You know what I mean?
Well, we'll figure it out. My
Yeah.
B-Day pick was like 6 weeks delayed, so I'm just not gonna cry about
Oh.
anything. Anyway, I'll
Starts the
insert
cycle.
Postpod Adam, and yeah, I guess it does. And he'll tell you what we're watching here. What's up, everybody? It's Postpod Adam. For his birthday pick, Mr. Vidalis selected the movie Watchmen from 2009. That is currently streaming on HBO Max, so go ahead, check that out, and join us for our review next week.
Wow.
So go watch that. I don't know if it's Leo or if it's a birthday pick, one of the two, but check it out. Join us for our review next week. We'll be RB.
America.
brings up a good point of one reason to stay alive is to keep discovering new music.
Yeah.
There ain't
And new
nothing
movies.
better. Ain't nothing better than like having a buddy who you respect put you onto something and then being able to and find a bunch of different shit that you enjoy out of that as well too. So
Yeah.
when the world is
Um,
shit, at least we got like new music that you can find and stuff, right?
Yeah.
For now,
For
until
sure.
they censor it all.
I mean, that's why we go
Yeah,
physical
right.
copies, motherfucker. We're bringing
Yeah,
it
man.
back.
Yeah.
Or
dude.
till the AI just starts like making our music for us.
I wouldn't be
AI
shocked
slosh.
if some of this stuff, if we do see a resurgence the next couple of years of
Oh,
physical media.
I genuinely think
yeah,
it'll
for sure.
happen.
I think so too. With people worried about censorship and whatnot,
I
people
think
might
it'll.
gravitate
I
more
think
towards
it'll
owning
be.
stuff.
I think it'll be like the people that can write organically and that kind of stuff are going to become more
Mm.
prized. I mean, hopefully, fingers crossed. Talking for myself here,
Yeah.
but I do think like genuinely physical media will become more prized and more like celebrated in some ways. I think like going to the movies might become more like going to the theater, kind of like
Right.
is and that kind of thing, and like, but like I can see people going back to like having like parties and like listening and like that kind of thing and
Listening parties, yeah.
and
Yeah.
just like
I had one for Mr. Morale, like not necessarily like,
like,
hey, let's all get together when this comes out, but like it was my roommate
Also-
Noah,
Yeah,
Noah
for
one,
sure,
the
yeah,
original
yeah.
Noah, the actual Noah,
Yeah.
and then my girlfriend Sarah, like we were all just kind of hanging out when it came out and then
Yeah.
put it on. And it was like enjoyable to go through an album
For sure. Yeah.
or like
And
movies.
be
That's really the
introduced to
only time
music.
I could think of like doing that, like an
Mhm.
album, like, hey, let's put it on. I guess there's a couple times over Discord that my friends will be gaming or whatever and be like, oh, this just dropped, like let's listen to it, but like it's still not, that's not the same.
Yeah. Speaking of and real quick, I know you're trying to jump in here, but speaking of physical
No, you're good,
media,
man.
like this lane, this subgenre of hip hop we're talking about, like that's almost what they're most notable for, in my opinion. Like that's where like I really got back into like the collection of vinyls was like through
Sure.
their music. They still make like cassettes and shit that you can
Yeah.
buy. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
it's really cool. And obviously they're smaller acts, so like that's how they make a ton of their profit as well, is through like actual merch
But I
and physical sales. But it's cool, man. You can still get like CDs, cassettes, vinyls from these people. Just shit you can't really get when when the next major artist releases an album. You know what I mean?
I really think it's people responding back to like that thing. Like people were sold on like, okay, well, digital, you'll have it forever, and people are realizing that that's not true. And I
Yeah.
really think that's the like driving force behind what we'll see with this kind of go back to physical. Because I think there's a lot of stuff in some ways where it is just like I would rather make something and like I'd rather make a vinyl and like have my friends enjoy it, and in 20 years it breaks down, than like make a
Mhm.
song, put it on the internet, a bunch of people like it, but then someone
Yeah, it's
else
lost in the
yanks it.
shuffle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's the biggest thing for what, 3 days, and then it's
Uh-huh.
lost and it's gone forever. Or like I say something wrong and someone else decides to yank it because they can, right? Like
You can turn the light on.
I think
Yeah.
there's gonna be a big back,
I'll get it.
not backlash, but like swing back that way. I really do.
I think so too. I don't know.
So what I'm
It's just,
saying is I'm buying a bar that I'm turning into a movie theater, and it's also going to be a bookstore with a volleyball court in the
that's
back.
okay. Well, the volleyball court, that's interesting. But dude, I told you about you guys about this place when I was in college, that the Ragtag Cinema
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Columbia,
of course.
Missouri.
Like
was
that is
just that. It
genuinely
was
my
a bar
dream.
in the lobby. The lobby was like a bar cafe, so they had coffee and they had drinks
Yeah,
after a certain hour.
Maybe coffee.
Attached to a vinyl store.
No food.
Like no food. Well, they had a bakery, but it was
Yeah.
attached to a vinyl store,
I'm
and
not
then it was
eating.
also a 2-screen movie theater. It
Yeah,
was
man.
awesome. I saw X there. It was great. I was alone
And I'll live above
in the
it.
theater, and that was the time the guy I walked in, and he was like, "Hey, you're the only one here for this movie. Do you just want to skip previews?"
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was like, "Yes, I didn't even know you could do that."
I told you about the picture house in England where I used to go and see things.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that
Yeah.
place ruled too.
Man.
Like ever since then, yeah, I've been like, that is my dream. Like I would love to own like just a little theater in a college town, have a bookstore, like a little bookstore in it as well. Fuck, I'll have I'll sell movies out of that joint too. And then like we can have a bar in there, and in the back we'll have 2 volleyball courts. That'll be our other source of income in the summer. I'm stealing it from fucking Kingston's, and like I'll live above it. I don't give a fuck. That sounds awesome.
Dude, yeah, that does sound awesome. I've been thinking about that too recently. Like, but then I worry. I'm like, man, by the time I could open up a theater, will there be enough people coming to pay me to like?
Who gives a
I don't
fuck?
know.
Like life happens when
Well,
you
if
try
I-
when you try and life happens when you try and do stuff. Like you know, it's gonna happen whether or not. You might as well make a swing for it. And I
Sure.
realize I'm also saying this as like that's my new outlook I'm trying to embrace more in life.
Sure.
But
yeah.
like, you know, I didn't waste my 20s, but I definitely spent part of my 20s trying to plan for the rest of my life, and you just can't do that shit because
Yeah.
COVID's
Well,
gonna happen
shit
or
happens.
something else is gonna happen, right?
Dude, yeah, man. I mean, I think that's
you guys,
something my
you had to learn
generation-
that lesson a lot quicker than I did. Like,
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was
Still-
that was a wake up call.
Still something that's like
oh, we'll be
legitimately, and I know people say insane a lot. Like that's kind of
we'll be dealing with that shit for a while. Like,
yeah, absolutely insane though that like that happened.
broke my brain.
And like,
Like,
for sure, dude. It was so crazy.
Like,
so crazy.
I have such a hard time. Like, my sense of time is so fucked around that period where I'm just like, dude, I don't remember anything from 2020 to 2023. Basically, like that's. I like.
Yeah, it's all one blur.
In my mind, that didn't happen. Like, I'm still 20. I'm still 3 years younger than I am right now because, like, I just like.
Well,
Genuinely,
you have this podcast to kind of give you an idea.
Well, yeah, but I guess that's a good point. We could go back and through that and just find out.
Yeah, it's a little time
At least
capsule.
we got that. When I'm 70 and going Alzheimer, I was gonna say Alzheimatic, like asthmatic, but
senile
from Alzheimer's.
Senile, yeah,
senile is probably the better word to use there. At least I'll have this. We got to speaking.
For sure.
Speaking of that, we got to put this on some sort of physical media, guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's if Spotify even lets you listen to your own content.
I have a hard drive.
We need to make some vinyl copies.
We'll make some copies. I mean, hard drive
Also,
is
one of those things-
physical-ish.
Yeah, but
yeah.
disk drop is also a thing.
It's better than, well, yes, it is, but then it's better than storing it on the cloud.
We need magnetic. What is it? Magnetic tapes that they use at like the Library of Congress or whatever.
I'm not even sure.